Alrighty, everybody, we're going to be getting started here right now. Grab my coffee, everybody. How's everybody doing today? All right. Hello. Hope everybody's doing good today. Hope everybody had a good Halloween too. Down. Just real quick. Yeah, we kind of stayed home for Halloween. We had fun though. My wife got a bag, a 10. It was like a 9.5 pound bag of candy for the kiddos, and yeah, they made themselves definitely all sick. I made myself sick too, eating all that, but it was fun. We had a good time. So it's about, we stayed safe. Yeah. That's it. So, yeah, so today, guys, we're going to be going over, let me lower this down real quick. Today we're going to be going over, we're going to be using CML 2.1. If you guys caught my last stream, or if you guys have been catching my my Twitch lately, you know that I've been using Cisco Modeling Lab 2.1 lately. I really dig it. I think the dark mode is really nice. And yeah, that's just what I've been using going forward with my lab. So today, what I'm going to be going over is VLAN trunking. Okay, we're going to build a router on a stick topology. Okay. All right, so yeah, router, stick. All right, so we're gonna be building a router on a stick lab. All right, and what we're gonna be doing, and what this kind of demonstrates is, say we have a building here. So, here, let me actually make that building. Where'd my eraser go? It's in my hand. Let's do this. Yeah. Say we have Office 1. All right. Inside Office 1, you have a couple of hosts. You have you say you have a sales floor up on the second floor here. Okay. And then here on the first floor, all right, you have some PCs. They're in production. All right. So you got a production, some production folks right there. And then over here, we have Office 2. All right, so we'll say Office 1, Office 2. Same thing, same kind of, we'll keep it kind of the same, second floor, first floor. All right, you have some hosts up here. They're in sales. You have some hosts down here, production. All right. All right. Actually, let's make this a little bit more complicated. All right. We'll add a couple more floors to this scenario too. All right, here. Hold on. Let's add a couple more floors today. All right. Yeah, third floor. All right. Today they added a bigger elevator. They added an elevator into these buildings today, so we got a couple more floors. So we need a couple more departments. Drink your coffee, guys. Please. A friend of mine sent me over some Death Wish coffee. Good stuff. I enjoy it. What? Do I have a visitor? Hold on, everybody. Thank you, good sir. Huh. My boy's a good boy. He's bringing me more seltzer waters. He knew I was gonna get thirsty eventually. All right. So yeah. So like I was saying, we got to build. Let's add a couple more departments in here today. Say we have. This is the. What department? You're the bakery. All right, we added a bakery in here. Am I even spelling bakery right? Probably. Sure. All right. Sure. Bakery. I'm not spelling bakery right. You're awful today. I'm an awful speller. I knew I wasn't. All right. Bakery. And then... Actually, yeah, we'll say food service. What's that? Let's be a little bit more professional here. We'll say food service. Even better. I like food service better. That's our food service department. All right. All right. So we got our food service, and we need one more. We need one more department. I don't know. Let's see. Well, we'll just say data. Whatever. Say we have a data department too. All right. And then these would be, we're going to break them up into separate VLANs. All right. Yeah. Let me grab my other handy dandy here. So we're going to break these up into separate VLANs. All right. We'll enable, so we're going to enable a couple things. We're going to have, yeah, so we're going to have 5 VLANs because we're going to have one native VLAN too. So we're going to have 5 VLANs. We got to configure, we have, I don't need to do it on the native VLAN, but I'm going to do it anyway. So we have 5 networks. We're going to enable DHCP. DHCP. All right, this is and then yes, we got that and then we're gonna do, yeah, that's kind of it. We're gonna keep this real simple, and we're gonna be using the switches. The switches that we're gonna be using them as layer 2 switches. So in Office 1, all right, in their they'll have, like, say, the router and the main switch in their rack. So we'll say in Office 1's IT room, they're the ones that they'll have the switch, and they're gonna have the router in there. All right, and then in Office Buildings 2, they'll just have the switch. All right, and this is just gonna be a layer 2 switch. All right, layer 2 switch. And this is just gonna be just the router, all right? And you'll see how the topology is going to lay out. I'm not going to enable routing on the switches at all, because we want to have this as a specifically a router on the stick topology, all right? I streamed this last night over on Twitch. I'm doing this again over on YouTube, so this can stay up on YouTube. I did make some mistakes though when I streamed it last night on Twitch, and I went back and I took a look at my lab and saw the kind of mistakes I made. So today we're gonna nail it on the head. Now again, this is a very fundamental router on the stick topology. It's not going to be complicated. We're not going to get into anything crazy. I mean, probably the craziest thing we'll do is we'll enable DHCP for all the sub interfaces. That'll be the craziest thing we do. Other than that, it's going to be a pretty basic topology here. Okay, so drink your coffee. I know I need it. All right, grab some water too. All right, how's everybody doing today, though? Hope you guys had a safe Halloween last night. Hope nobody got into any trouble or anything like that. It's never worth it. All right. So again, let's dive back in. We're in CML 2.1, and we're gonna start from scratch. Again, we're gonna keep it very, very minimal, but we're gonna keep it to the point. Okay, so let's dive in. All right. So we're gonna be using even though these are layer 3 switches, we're only going to be using these as layer 2 today. All right. We're going to grab our one router and say 1, 2, 3. No, I don't need any of these actually. Let me erase these. Yeah. Don't get too crazy. We'll save that for a for another time, and I'll show you what I was thinking about doing with that, but that's fine for now. So here we go. So we have our, and I'll break this up a little bit better, but let's grab our PCs here. Now we're gonna need 8 PCs altogether. All right, because we got 4 on each building. Let's go ahead. Let's allocate these out, guys. All right. So we're allocating out our stuff to our 2 new sites that we just built. Okay. Very basic. So there we go. I think that's it that we're going to need today. Now, the only thing I need to do, though, is I need to add some more interfaces to these switches, because these, by default, in CML, and remember that before you boot up your, say, like, before you boot up anything, if you're going to need X amount of interfaces, just take a look, because CML, they keep everything very minimum, but you can always add 2. All right, so by default, the iOS L2, the virtual switch image, it only comes with 4 interfaces, okay? I'm going to add some more. I'm going to add 4 more, all right? 8, perfect, good. All I needed. I'm going to come back over to this one, too. I'm going to add 4 more to him. Cool. Very good. All right. Let's zoom in now, guys, because I know you guys probably can't really see it. I just wanted to just get the big picture kind of stuff done. How do I want to lay this out? All right. I had a thought about this, and this is, I think, the best way for me to lay it out, guys, because I can illustrate it a little bit better. Probably like this. Like this. Put you here. Put you here. Start wrapping you guys. Boom. Keep it all on the same level. Right. Cisco Model Lab 2. It kind of snaps to a grid too, and the grid seems to be pretty small, which is nice. Sometimes when things snap to a grid, they can get difficult. Whatever, you got the picture. Alright. A little bit more, then I can bring this up a little bit actually too. And I can even, let me just pick that up a little bit, and then I can even pick this up even more then. Boom. Cool. Hope that looks good. Hope everybody can see that pretty well. I'm just grabbing some more salt water. All right. Let me do this. Let me get these. Let me get those fired up right now, because those are gonna take a while to boot up, anyways. So yeah, it'll be fine. All right, let's start giving these things some names real quick. So we're gonna say building 1. All right, building 1. All right, we're gonna call you. We'll call you the stick. All right, because he's the router on the stick. All right, we're gonna call you building 2. All right, come over here. This will be Alright, that's fine. So we'll say Pro 1. Pro 1. We'll say Food 1. Yeah, that's good. Keep it simple. Cool. I like that. We'll say Data 1. And we're gonna say sales 1. Ooh. Like it. Here now, Pro 2. Here we're gonna say food 2. Say data 2 now. And then sales 2. Your spelling is atrocious, my friend. I know. All right. We're not gonna pop those guys on right now. We'll leave them stewing. Look at that. The stick came on. All right. This is a fun topology. This is a fun lab to build. So I mean, again, guys, if you guys have Cisco Packet Tracer downloaded, guys, you guys can follow me right along. And I'll even explain to you if you follow along with Cisco Packet Tracer, I'll explain to you how to do the same exact thing that I'm gonna do today, because it's the same exact commands, guys. All right, I've tested it. It's the same thing. So, coffee time, more coffee. I was in the military, guys. We used to drink water all the time, and now I drink coffee like I used to drink water all the time. Alright. I guess I can, let's just dive right into the, we'll dive right into the stick first. The stick will be the first one that will get configured here. So the stick's kind of like, it's going to be the one that we're going to put all of our configuration into. Like I said, we're gonna enable Dhcp to dynamically allocate addresses to all 4. And let me while this thing's getting booted up here, let's do this, guys, because we haven't talked about this yet. We haven't talked about addressing, okay? All right. So underneath everything, yeah, you can still kind of see it. We still need a native, okay? All right. Native, call it whatever. All right, we're still going to use VLAN 1. You know, in real life, you might not be using VLAN 1 as your native VLAN. You know, your network engineers probably got it as something else, just for security purposes and whatnot. Let me just press the enter on that one. That way it comes fully up. And that actually takes just a couple more minutes. You see how, excuse me, the switches actually take longer to boot than the actual router. That tells you how much more these switches, because these are, like I said, these are layer 3 switches. They can do routing and all that other stuff too that the router can do on top of layer 2 stuff. So again, we'll get back to it. All right, so we need native, and then we also need we need addresses for everything else. So on native, we're gonna keep this very simple, guys. All right, we're gonna say the native address range is the 10.0 anything network. Okay. Production, we're gonna say the 10. Again, guys, if you've caught any of my streams before, I try to keep how I do addressing very, very simple. It's what's helped me understand subnetting and stuff like that a little bit more. All right, because subnetting can get confusing. All right, so to get back to things, production here, we're gonna say the 10 network. Okay, again, so when I illustrate 24 here, all right, as the subnet mask, okay, that is pretty much, this is going to be our host, and then all of this right here, guys, this is network. All right, so if you guys can understand that, this is host. All right, so network. All right, host. So that's why when it's 10.0.0, 10.0.10, and we'll go into this one. Yeah. All right, so our router's coming up. The 2 switches look like they just booted up too. So let's just finish our addressing real quick, and then we can get into things. If you guys have any questions at all, just ask away, guys. Say 24, 10.0.30, 4, 10.0.40. Again, guys. All right, again, 24, 24, 24, keeping it all where these are the host network. All right, remember that, guys. All right, about subnetting. Okay, network bits, host bits. All right, and it's in an 8 octet. All right, that's why when you, like, if we were to write out these in binary bits, it would be 8 bits long. Okay, so subnetting. We'll get into subnetting too if you guys are interested about subnetting. We can do a whole stream on subnetting. And that's why, again, I try to keep my addressing very simple. All right, it's helped me understand it, and it's to try to keep it very simple so everybody else can understand too. So, okay, let's go. All right. Let's do it. And any questions about the yeah, I should probably slow down. So EN, all right. EN gets us that's enable mode, moves us into enable mode. When you see me dump comfort T, configuration terminal mode. So now we're in configuration, global configuration mode. All right, that's where global configuration mode is pretty much like it's like you're in like your main desktop mode where, well, no, I don't know. It's like where you get to plug into everywhere else pretty much and make global configurations. Okay, global configuration. All right, to everything. All right. So from here, what we're gonna do first, we're gonna give it a host name. What are we gonna name our? Oh yeah, he's the stick. You're the stick, pal. You're gonna get named the stick today. Okay, funny enough. All right. We'll move into interface. Oh, we haven't configured anything yet. All right, hold on. There is one thing I gotta add though here, and this is just gonna help me. So I'm gonna grab an unmanaged switch. I'm gonna put the unmanaged switch right here, guys. All right. Don't mind that I'm grabbing an unmanaged switch. The reason why I need the unmanaged switch is it's going to eliminate me having to you'll see. You'll see why here in a second. So we're gonna just say what should I name this one? We're gonna just say switch. Yeah, because that's all he's doing. He's like the real switch. Yo, I swear, you gotta do something about your spelling. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm gonna blame it on the I'm blaming it on the my little handy dandy keyboard here. Too small for my big fat fingers. Very good. So let's do this now. It's up. We're gonna hook you up to gigabit. Yeah, we'll say 0. That's fine. Over here. Say 0 to 0. Yep. Cool. Yeah. Let me just pull this down so you don't get confused on what is hooked up to what. Here. One. Yep. Say, yep, 2. 3. Perfect. Perfect. Yep. 1. Same thing, you're gonna be. All right, I just wanted to get this out of the way real quick before I start stumbling about. So we're just hooking up our interfaces here, keeping everything the same too. All right, across the field, everything's the same. All right. And so what was the interface that we hooked up to here? We did 0-0, right? Very easy, right? Let's go back to the console again. So we'll say gigabit 0-0 now. All right. Now, like I said, our native, we're going to give our native, let me make that correction. Native, again, before I get ahead of myself. 1, and then the main, we'll target our main IP address as 0-0-0. All right, so our native, though, we'll use as 1. All right. Yes. Good. Good. You'll see why, guys. All right. So let's do IP address. 10.0.0.1.245.245.245.0. We'll do a no shut. All right. We're going to give a quick description. We're going to say main, yeah, we're just going to say main address. Keep it simple. Okay. Exit. Actually, we can just go right into the, now, this is where we're going to be getting into sub interfaces now, okay? So now we're going to move into the gigabit 0-0's sub interface, all right? And the reason why we're doing this is because we're going to set these up as trunking, well, not trunking, but they're going to be set up as encapsulation, as encapsulation .1Q tags. So they're going to be tagged pretty much so to our native VLAN. So when we hook up to our switches, our ports on our switches are going to be set up as trunking ports, okay? And when they're sending out their messages to the router, all right, that router is going to be able, it's going to know what VLAN to communicate to. You'll see that as we get into it, but we're going to go into the sub interfaces, okay? So we're going to say interface gigabit 0-0.1. All right, we're going to say encapsulation .1Q. I'm going to say 1 native. All right. And we're going to say IP address 10.0.0. Now we're going to say 10.0.1.1. All right, we're going to say 25.25.25.0. All right, we're going to say no shut. We're going to give it a quick description. We're going to say native, because this is going to be for our native VLAN 1. All right, native VLAN 1. All right, so now we're going to move into interface gigabit 0-0.10. All right, move into that one. We're going to say encapsulation .1Q. We're going to say 10. Because that's for our production. All right, we're going to say IP address 10.0.10.1 255.255.255.0. Very good, looks good. Give it a no shut. All right, enter. Give it a quick description. We're going to say VLAN 10 production. All right, now we're going to move into interface gigabit 0-0.20. Going to say encap .1Q 20 IP address 10.0.20.1 25.25.25.0. Give that a no shut. All right. Give that a description. We're gonna say VLAN 20. What's VLAN 20? That's food service, right? So food service. All right. How's everybody doing, man? Pretty good. All right, let's do it. Yeah, we've got a couple more interfaces to go. Point 30. Incap. So Q30. All right, I'm gonna say IP address 10.0.30. 30, not 20, and not 230, Joe. 1.245.245. And the reason why I'm going through all these addresses, you're going to see it. We're going to give, these are going to be all of our default routes for all of our VLANs. All right, guys, you'll see. That looks good. Give that a no shut. All right, give that a description. We're going to say VLAN 30, and we're going to call that data. Line interface gigabit 0-0.40 now. We're gonna say incap.1q, say 40, say IP address 10.0.40.1.25.25.255.0. Yep, right. We'll give that a no shut as well. Description. Almost done with this, guys. We're gonna say VLAN 40. Sales. All right, so that's that for those. Okay, now we can exit. Let's do a do write real quick so we can write this into our configuration. As I grab a sip of water. All right, so now we have our sub interfaces and our actual interface properly addressed. So all of that addressing is now taken care of. Okay, all right, and that's actually like the only addressing we're gonna have to do there. So now let's do IP DHCP. Cool. We're gonna say, we'll say native. All right, and we're gonna say network 10.0.1.0. That'd be 255.255.255.0. Right, and that'd be default 10.0.1.1. Right, that's it. We're gonna kind of just do this the whole way. DHCP, not DX. Cool. I'm gonna say production now. There we go. I'm gonna say network 10.0.10.0.25.25.25.0. Default route 10.0.10.1. Okay, exit. IP DHCP pool food service. Network 10.0.20.0.25.25.25.25.26, Joe. 25. Very, very good. All right, default. We're going to give that a 10.0.20.1. Yep, exit. DHCP. We're just implementing DHCP for all of our VLANs, and you'll see why here soon. Default pool data network
10.0.30, 0.25.25.25.0. Default router 10.0.1. Good. Exit. IP, DHCP, cool. Network 10.0.40, 0.245, not 24. 245.245.0. Right, and say default 10.0.40.1. Exit. Let's do a do-rag. All right, coffee time. I think I deserve some coffee after that. Death Wish coffee, good stuff. All right. Now let's do IP, DHCP, exclude. Now let's exclude some addresses here. 10.0.1.1 to 10.0.1.1. Yep, looks good. Perfect. From over here, 10. Come over here, change you to 20. 20. We're just excluding some addresses here for our network devices and for our native VLANs and whatnot. So that's it. And just to keep, so we know our address range too. So say you only want to allocate, X amount of addresses. That way, for sure that, by any chance you're not going to max out your address range just because you've got an issue going on somewhere in the network here. So that's it. That's all I'm doing. And just one more for the sales 40. Boom, all right. Let's do a do-right on that real quick. All right, so we got DHCP now. Ooh, I need a loopback. Yeah. All right. Now let's do a loopback interface. Loopback 0. We're gonna give that a IP address. What's up, bud? What? That's awesome, dude. My son loves Fortnite. He loves Fortnite. So there's our loopback address, 1.1.1, and 245.245.245.245. So there we go. Give that a no shut. It's default up, but I just still give it no shut. Exit out of that. Now let's do router OSPF 1. We're just gonna say network 0.0.0.025.25. Now remember, this is wildcard, guys, so this encompasses everything pretty much. All right, I'm just gonna say area 0. All right, we'll exit. And then just do one more do right. Let's do a do show. And I think the stick is configured. I think it is. All right, let's do a do show run. Take a look. Now, I remember, guys, I kept this very basic. I didn't get into any, I didn't enable any security or anything like that on it. All right, so let's take a look at what we got. So we have some excluded IP addresses here for a DHCP. All right. And again, we've excluded those addresses there. That way,
because you're going to remember we've already statically configured our sub interfaces with 1.1, 10.1, 20.1, 30.1. We don't want DHCP trying to allocate that address out to another host. You know what I'm saying? That really start messing things up. So again, I went from 1 to 100 just so I know obviously I'm going to know what addresses it's going to hand out. Well, I know at least the span of addresses it's going to hand out. Okay, so it's going to hand from 101 to 254. Okay, so our addresses can go to 254. All right, as long as we leave it with all of those, that last octet completely empty, we can use up 254 of those addresses. Okay, so we have from 101 to 254. All right, and again, I can do a whole stream on just subnetting alone, which we might. So let's continue. So press the space bar, go up a little bit. Woo. So here's our DHCP, and I just built DHCP for everything, just cause. So we have DHCP for the 1.0 network, the 10. network, the 20. network, the 30. network, and then finally the sales network, which is the 40. network. Okay, so we have default routes enabled in all of them, and yeah, they all look pretty good. We have our Loopback Interface 1.1.1. Our gigabit interface 0-0, so our main interface, that's IP address, that 10.0.0.1 in the subnet mask interface / notation 24. All right, and then we have our we start with our sub interface, so gigabit 0-0.1, which we're going to be using as our native VLAN 1 interface. All right, and that's addressed at the 1. network. All right, so the 10.0.1.1, and then we move on to the 10, the 20, the 30, and then finally sales, which is our 40, all the way down for our sub interfaces here. We have OSPF enabled in the 0.everything network for area 0. That's just to bring in the loopback address. That's it. Just to add help with routing too. And I think that's pretty much it. So let's do an exit, and then I always like to do a copy running startup copy running config startup config, just because got to remember do write saves it to the memory where saves it to the RAM. Yeah, do write saves it to the RAM where copy data save it to the actual hard disk. Guys, just excuse me for just one moment here. All right. All right, that's what I get for drinking a gallon of water, a gallon of coffee, and flushing it down with a gallon of water. Let me drink some more though. Sorry about that. All right, let's get back to business here, partner. All right, so I think the stick is good. Let's move on. Come over here. Now remember, this is going to be very, very basic on these two switches. This should go pretty quick. So let's go enable mode. So enable mode. Okay. Now let's go into configuration.
configuration terminal, which is global configuration mode, okay? We're going to give it a host name, and we're going to say building 1. Building /1, and then we're just going to do a couple VLANs. Do VLAN 10. Name, if I could spell. So VLAN 10 is production. Alright, exit. It's gonna write that. Short VLAN 20. That's gonna be name. That's gonna be food service. Alright, exit. Move into VLAN 30 now. And that's going to be name data. Exit. Last one, VLAN 40. Name sales. Right, exit. Boom. All right, we'll just write that real quick. Now, we've created our 4 VLANs, plus we have VLAN 1's already there, all right? So now let's just move our interfaces. So, yeah. And let's just remember how we configured our interfaces here. So, 1 to Pro, so that's in 1, 2, 3, and then 1 and 1. All right, very good. What happened? What happened? Stop it. Where is it? Sometimes it gets goofy on me. There it goes. Fixed itself. Sometimes it does that. All right. So now we're going to move into interface gigabit 0-0. All right. That's this interface. All right. That's this interface right here, guys. And that's going to be our trunk port. Very important. Okay. So we're going to say switch port mode. Yeah, switch port mode trunk. Actually, yeah. No, it's switch port trunk incap .1q context sensitive help. Good. And then we're going to say switch port mode trunk. All right. So we just made our interface gigabit 0-0. That's our trunk port. Okay. Very important that we make that a trunk port. All right. And can I give that a? Can I specify that? Okay. So that's done. So now let's go into interface gigabit 0-1. We're gonna say switch port mode access, switch port mode VLAN. All right, switch port. Come on, switch port access VLAN 10. All right, that's our production. All right, and then we're gonna move into. So that one's done. Gigabit 0-2. Switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 20. Done. All right, move on to the next one. Gigabit interface, is that 0-3? Yep. Yep, I broke it again. Fix it. Boop. There it goes. So that's gigabit 0-3. All right, and that's switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 30. All right, done. Interface gigabit, and that's 1-1. All right, switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 40. Exit. Let's do right real quick. All right, let's do a do show run. And I believe that's it for our switch. It's very easy. All right, so yeah, so we have our very important. This is the most important part of this whole configuration, guys. And this is what got me messed up a whole lot of times, is to have it as a switch port trunk encapsulation.1q switch port mode trunk. Very important that it's that tagged as that, okay? When you're setting up this type of configuration. Now, if you're going from switch to, like if you're doing like some layer 3 type stuff, you know, having it set to like dynamic desirable, and having, you know, another switch as dynamic desirable, you can get away with that. But doing the router on the switch, the router on a stick, topology, it's very important that you have your mode set as trunk. All right, so that's important. Just wanted to make sure everybody's aware of that. So then we have our other interfaces. All right, they're set as switch port access interfaces. All right, we have our gigabit 0-1 and VLAN 10, gigabit 0-2 and VLAN 20, -3 is in 30, and one. Hold on, let me just make sure I didn't mess up. Oh, I did. Let's fix that. Switch that. Let's fix that now. So let's put out of there. Interface gigabit 1-1. All right, we're gonna say no switch port. Mode access. We're gonna say it's no switch port access. VLAN. This isn't gonna erase, is it? No, this isn't gonna erase it. Let me just move into the interface I needed. So interface gigabit 0, be 1.0- and then it'd be switch port mode access, switch port access, VLAN 40. This is why it's good to look at your configurations, guys. All right, so that's done. So we're gonna move into gigabit 0, 1-1. And I'm going to say no switch port access VLAN 40. And then we're just going to move that into, yeah, whatever. That interface is going to disappear anyways. I don't care about it for now. I'll deal with it later. All right, so let's exit. And then let's do a do. I'll do write that real quick, and I think that's it. Let's just check it one more time now before I get ahead of myself again. All right, do show run. Sure. It's funny. There is a couple of show commands that it will give you context sensitive help with when you do the do command. Yeah, so that's pretty neat. All right. So yep. So all right. Yeah. So we move that interface out of there. That's fine. And now yeah. So we moved the correct interface, which is this one going to this port. To VLAN 40. All right, so good. Other than that, we have nothing else. Like I said, I have no route configuration on this switch at all. All right, it's just all layer 2 configuration. Okay, so let's do a copy, run, start. All right, it's done. It's going to be the same exact configuration over here now. All right. do this real quick. All right, EN, conf T. See how fast I can do this. All right, host name, building, -2. All right, we're gonna say VLAN 10, name, production. Run, exit. VLAN 20, name, food service. Right, yep. Okay, exit. Boom. Boom. All right, VLAN 30. Name. Ooh, if I can spell name right. VLAN 30 is data again. Exit. Almost done, guys. All right, VLAN 40. Name. Sales. Exit. Boom. Boom. All right, so we're gonna move into gigabit 0-0. I'm gonna say switch port, trunk, incap, .1Q. All right, we're gonna say switch port, trunk. Next switch port, mode, trunk. Right, very important. So that's done. So we're gonna move into interface gigabit 0-1 now. All right, I'm gonna say switch port, mode, access, switch port, access, VLAN 10. Exit. So we'll go interface gigabit 0-2. Switch port, mode, access, switch port, access, VLAN 20, right, interface gigabit 0-3, switch port, mode, access, switch port, access, VLAN 30, and then interface gigabit 1-3. That right? Let's just double check again. Yep. Okay. It's gonna break on me. Very good. I'll fix it. Boop, boop. Right. And then switch port, mode, access, and then yep, switch port, access, VLAN 40. You can exit out of there. Let's do right. Now let's just check out our configuration real quick before we send it. All right. Do show run. All right. Check it out, guys. All right, so we have, yep, switch port encapsulation .1Q. All right, switch port mode. All right, yep, correct. Yep. All of our interfaces are on the right VLAN. It's very important. All right. Very good. Now, let's fire up all of our PCs here, guys. Good. These are nice. This is why I like using the little these are like very trimmed down versions of Alpine Linux. These PCs right here, they pretty much have very minimum operating system on it.
They do have a nice web browser though on it that you can open up and look at a web page. And they don't really. I mean, I am just because they're all booting up right now. You can see right over here. This is CPU usage right here, and I'm up towards around 58% above CPUs, and I'm giving Cisco Modeling Lab. I'm giving it six virtual CPUs, which is plenty to do what I do with it. I give it 6 just for case. It recommends 2, but I give it more. It helps it run a little bit better, especially when you're expanding it past, 3 or 4 network devices and stuff like that. So, yeah, you can start seeing it actually once everything boots down. You'll actually see it drop right back down to a regular rate. It's actually these virtual switches, those layer 3 switches. Those take up the most RAM, the most CPUs. All right, so let's come over here. Let's check out our host now. Mind you, I haven't turned this switch on yet, so we shouldn't have any IP addresses or anything in here. Not yet. I'm waiting for that. So let's come over here. IP address. So you can tell we don't have any IP addressing here on any of these devices. Yep, nothing. All up real quick, just so I can bounce between them all afterwards. Oh, did I break you? Go. Any questions so far? No? Okay. Good. Oh, good. Hope you guys are enjoying this, man. You guys are getting something out of it. We'll be it all start coming. All the pieces are pretty much together. They're all gonna start falling into place here right now. Come to this very last one. We'll get this one, and then we're gonna get that switch fired up. All right, and I'll do an IP on this very last one. IP address, and we'll just see. Yep, we don't have any IP addresses at all. All right. So, let me just take a sip of coffee now that it's probably cold. Oh yeah, it's cold. All right. All right. So, what we got going on before I boot this switch on, and I'm talking about this switch right here, guys. All right. Before I turn this switch on, as you can tell, it's still off. Okay, and what that switch is holding, it's kind of like the key to the network right now. It's at least the key for it all to start working. Okay, because once we turn this on, the stick here, the stick is going to start putting. It's going to start doing some work. It's going to have Dhcp start allocating addresses to all of these devices. All of these devices are going to get dynamically addressed through Dhcp, and they're all going to get addressed in their own accordant VLAN. So Pro 1 should get dynamically allocated in the 10 network. The food serve should get dynamically allocated in the 20 network, so on and so forth. And then in the end, because everything's figured with, because of the 2 switches are figured with a trunk encapsulation on them, the ports going to the router, everything should have inter-VLAN communication. And then what we could do, if then we wanted to say like connect to the internet from there, all we would have to do is enable PAT or NAT on the stick from there, and then we'd be able to pretty much communicate out to the big internet using one publicly facing address. Okay, so like I said, any questions, guys, just ask. I'm gonna fire this. Boop. I put a little spot right there. Let me move him. All right. We're gonna fire this switch up now. Mind you, once we fire this up, everything's gonna start working from there. At least it should. We're doing this live, everybody. I don't know. I could mess up something somewhere. All right. Woo! Let's see what happened, everybody. Come over here to Pro 1 now. We'll run the same command, and boom, look at that. We're already getting our addressing, guys, okay? So here we go. We got our first addressing. So things are already starting to work. So that got in here. What we'll do, we'll let me come over here. We'll do this. That way you guys can have a good kind of visual to, yeah, that's kind of too big. Drop that down. All right, so I'll put the IP addresses to everything on top of it. So we'll say 10. That got allocated 10.0.10.102/notation 24. Okay. Come over here. We'll run the same command, IP address. This got allocated 10.0.20.102/24. Alright, down right there. Perfect. This one now, run the same command. Oh, I didn't run IP address. IP address. Alright, you got dynamically allocated. Perfect. 10.0.30. Now, can you guys see the pattern here? Can you guys identify that already? We're getting dynamically allocated again in the correct network. So 10, 20, 30. All right. We didn't have to statically configure any of this. All right. The main man, the stick over here, he did all the work for us. Okay. So we'll do an IP address on this one. All right, perfect. 10.0.40.101. Yep. 4. Perfect. This one now. IP address. Perfect. Let's go. 10.0.10.101/24. This one. IP address. Beautiful, man. We are looking good. I'm glad. I am so happy when it works. But yeah, guys, this is I'm no expert. I don't come off. I'm trying not to come off as an expert. I am just simply studying for my CCNA, guys. And this is the fundamentals of CCNA level knowledge, guys. Once you study and you lab. I love labbing, guys. You guys can do this with Cisco Packet Tracer. Same commands, guys. You guys can rewatch this video back again. You can follow the same exact commands I ran today inside Cisco Packet Tracer, and you can build the same exact topology here, guys. All right. I'll do another IP address on this one. Perfect. All right. Let's finish this up. And then we'll ping. Now, if you're asking, hey Joe, why is one's 101 and one's 102? That's because the when that switch pretty much came on, whatever process any of these hosts were is sending out another DORA message, that's whatever PCs in that subsequent VLAN got allocated. So as you can see, sales one over here got to it first, but yeah, production 2 got to it before production 1 over there. It's just how fast it sent out its store message. All right, well, how fast it got a response or how fast it sent out its store message. Because you got to think, it kind of got all 8 messages all at the same time almost. Oh, I won't say all at the same time, because they all came on all at different times. But yeah, all right. Let's go over to Pro 1. So we're in Pro 1. Now, let's try to ping Sales 2, which is in a total other building, which is in a total other network. All right? If we can successfully ping Sales 2, that means we have inter-VLAN communication, all right? And pretty much the topology worked exactly how it should have worked. And this is the fundamental of the router on the stick topology, okay? Minus the DHCP, and I only do the DHCP just so I don't have to statically address all the hosts. But other than that, there is no other bells and whistles. This is the fundamental of it, okay? So let's move ping 10.0.40.102. And there you go. All right. So we can ping. All right. So we're in Pro 1. We're pinging Sales PC, Sales 2 over here. All right. We'll stop that. All right. And then we can actually see the packets. All right. Let me yeah. We'll start. Yeah. I don't have to move myself. Yeah, I'll start the packets, come back over here, we'll run the same command, boom. I'm going to start seeing these packets come in, okay? Yep, so you can start seeing these Icmp messages come in from PC1, all right? We'll take a look at those. All right. So, as you can tell, so here's all the messages. I'll highlight them for you guys. You guys can see what I'm talking about. So you have destination. So you have source. So here's one. So here's the it was a request. So we're requesting from 10.0.20. So here's our source. So source, destination. So the source. Okay, remember I captured all the packets from this interface. All right, guys. So you could see that it's actually going to that correct PC, okay? And then here's our IP address, 10.0.40.102. All right, there's our destination. So there's our protocol, Icmp, all right? And yeah, our network is up and running. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, any questions on what we've kind of covered today? I love doing this stuff, man. I love this stuff. I love labbing, guys. Yeah, I'll clear that out. Cool. I'm happy with that. And here, well, let's take a look at some stuff. We still got some time. Hey, let's go. Let's do a show Mac. Let's do some. Yeah, show Mac address table. Context sensitive help, and we're gonna say dynamic. Yeah. So let's take a look. Wow, we've already got. So there's our Mac. There's our MAC address table on building 2, and you can see it's already populated. Pretty much, it's all the MAC addresses for the entire network, and it's already got them by VLAN, by MAC address, dynamic, and it's also got them by the port number 2. Same thing. We'll come over here. Yeah, show MAC address table. Oh, that one's not so big, so we haven't really been sending. It's funny, yeah. So this one's MAC address table isn't so built up as Buildings 2 MAC address table. You can see it's a little bit bigger. Let's come over here to the router. Yeah, we're in the router, right? Want to make sure. In. Let's do a show ARP. So there's our ARP right there. There's our ARP table, guys. That's kind of just showing us where all of our pretty much where all of our messages and stuff like that coming from. So you can see our sub interfaces right here. You can see because we've only pinged 101 and yeah, so these is all the ARP messages that are coming in right now. They age out, so that's what you can see right here. They're aging out right there. You see the MAC address tables. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, guys. So this has been a fun lab. We're gonna, we'll, guys, I kind of I stream daily, almost daily now on Twitch. So if you guys are interested in catching a lab that I do in Twitch, catch me in there. What I'm gonna be doing on YouTube is when I come up, say with a specific topic lab, then I'll dump that specific topic lab on YouTube. That way it stays up on YouTube forever. Because when I stream on Twitch, it only saves on Twitch for 6 days as of the day that I stream. So that content won't be on there forever, okay? But it'll be on YouTube forever. All right, guys? So when you see me kind of like remake something on YouTube, that's because it's going to stay forever on YouTube, all right? But on Twitch, it's only going to stay on there for 60 days, okay, before it falls off. So, guys, I want to thank you all for joining me today. It's been really fun. And again, guys, catch me again, and we'll do another lab, all right? And if anybody has any suggestions, make sure you guys comment down below with any suggestions on any kind of other labs you guys kind of want to see, all right? Guys, have a great night and be safe out there, all right? Thank you, guys.